Why do typical compliments fail with women? Most men miss the essential psychological trigger that makes her feel truly understood, the key to genuine connection. In today's video, I'm revealing the 3 forbidden compliments that make women mentally chase you. These strategic phrases create an emotional puzzle in her mind that she can't help but solve. Unlike conventional compliments that fade instantly, these words linger, creating curiosity and intrigue that conventional flattery never achieves. I'll show you how to transform your interactions from forgettable exchanges into memorable moments that keep her thinking about you long after the conversation ends. These techniques work by activating specific mental pathways that conventional wisdom overlooks. The skeptical reaction. Picture this. Sarah stands at a crowded bar, nodding politely as yet another man approaches her with the same tired line. "You're so beautiful," he says, his eyes scanning her face for approval. She forces a smile, but inside, she's rolling her eyes. This is the 3rd time tonight she's heard some variation of this compliment, and it means absolutely nothing to her. Sarah mentally dismisses him. "Another guy who thinks pointing out my appearance is original. I've heard this exact line since I was 16. She sips her drink, already planning her escape from this predictable conversation. When we compliment women on their obvious physical attributes, we're telling them something they already know. These surface-level observations create zero emotional impact because they've heard them countless times before. Such comments don't create meaningful connection or show that you see something special about them. But then something unusual happens. A different man approaches, makes casual conversation for a few minutes, and then pauses thoughtfully. He looks at Sarah with genuine curiosity and says, "There's something about you I can't quite figure out." Her rehearsed smile fades. She blinks, caught completely off guard. For the first time that night, her full attention shifts to the person speaking to her. Her expression changes from polite disinterest to genuine curiosity. This isn't from her mental script of predictable interactions. This simple phrase hits differently because it creates immediate psychological tension. It suggests you've noticed something about her that others haven't, something beneath the surface that intrigues you. Critically, you haven't specified what that something is. Sarah's mind activates. What does he mean? What can't he figure out? Is it her personality, background, or expression? These questions create a mental engagement that "you're beautiful" could never achieve. Her body language transforms. She leans in slightly, makes more direct eye contact. She's no longer passively receiving a compliment, but actively trying to solve the puzzle you've presented. The dynamic has shifted completely. This is the first fundamental psychological payoff: mental engagement. Most compliments fail because they require no mental processing. They deliver validation without creating curiosity. Standard compliments close loops rather than open them. The moment you say "you're beautiful," the interaction is complete. Her mind has nowhere to go with that information. "But there's something about you I can't quite figure out," opens a loop in her mind that she'll want to close. Our brains seek closure and resolution. By introducing mystery, you've created a question demanding an answer, and she'll remain mentally engaged with you as she tries to figure it out. Which movies stay with you longer? Predictable ones, or those with twists that make you think days later? This compliment works on the same principle. It creates a mental movie that continues playing in her mind after your conversation ends. This approach shifts the usual dynamic. With standard compliments, you're saying "I approve of you," putting you as the validator and her seeking validation. But with this forbidden compliment, you become the mystery, the one she's trying to figure out. You've subtly changed the power dynamic. This compliment demonstrates that you're observant and perceptive, qualities women find extremely attractive. When you notice something undefined about her that others miss, you signal that you pay attention on a deeper level than most people. This approach works regardless of whether she considers herself physically attractive. Traditional compliments often fall flat with very beautiful women and can feel insincere to women who don't fit conventional beauty standards. Everyone wants to be seen as having depth beyond their appearance. Stoic philosophy emphasizes focusing on substance over superficial qualities. By using this compliment, you're practicing modern Stoicism, recognizing deeper aspects rather than external appearance. You're acknowledging that what makes someone truly interesting lies beneath the surface. This isn't about manipulation. It's about creating genuine connection through psychological understanding. When used sincerely, you're communicating that you see past the surface. This particular compliment works on a deep psychological level because of how our minds process mysteries. When we encounter something we can't immediately classify, our brains devote extra resources to solving that puzzle. It triggers the Zeigarnik effect, our tendency to remember unfinished tasks better than completed ones. By presenting her with an unfinished thought about herself, you ensure she'll keep thinking about your interaction long after it's over. This takes us to understanding why the human mind finds mysteries so compelling, and how you can use this knowledge to create even deeper connection. The mystery box technique. Think about the last time someone handed you a wrapped gift. That moment of anticipation, that curiosity about what's inside, it creates an immediate spark of interest. This same principle applies to our forbidden compliment. When you say, "There's something about you I can't quite figure out," you're essentially handing someone a mystery box that they feel compelled to open. Humans naturally gravitate toward mysteries and unanswered questions. It's hardwired into our psychology. We see this in our fascination with puzzles, mystery novels, and plot twists in movies. We crave them. Our brains light up when presented with an intriguing question that needs solving. This is a fundamental aspect of how our minds process information. When you deliver this forbidden compliment, you're tapping into this natural curiosity. You're creating a psychological state where her mind can't help but engage with what you've said. She's no longer passive in the conversation, she's actively trying to solve the puzzle you've presented. This leads us to a fascinating psychological principle. Unresolved questions create cognitive tension in our minds. When information is incomplete, our brains experience discomfort, a need to fill in the gaps. This tension is like unwrapping a mystery gift, where each layer reveals another wrapper beneath, keeping you engaged until you finally discover what's inside. Your brain simply won't let it go until it finds resolution. Think about how a cliffhanger at the end of a TV episode keeps you thinking about what might happen next. Your mind plays out different scenarios, trying to predict the resolution. The same happens when you use this forbidden compliment. Her mind starts working overtime, replaying your interaction and trying to determine what you might have noticed about her. This cognitive tension relates directly to the Zeigarnik effect, the principle that unfinished tasks occupy more mental space than completed ones. When something is complete, our minds file it away and move on, but unfinished business stays front and center in our thoughts, like that song fragment that keeps playing in your head after the radio cuts out mid-chorus. When you say, "There's something about you I can't quite figure out," you create this exact effect. You're starting a mental task she can't complete without more information. This unresolved question will occupy significantly more mental space than a straightforward compliment. Her mind will keep returning to it, examining it from different angles. What's particularly effective is that this mental engagement happens even when you're not physically present. Long after your conversation ends, she'll still be processing what you said. She'll replay the interaction, analyzing her own behavior, wondering what quality caught your attention. This creates a form of presence that extends beyond your actual meeting. This compliment works because it suggests you've observed something unique about her. But the ambiguity means she has to fill in the blanks herself. She'll start analyzing what makes her different in your eyes, which means she's already investing in the interaction. We value things more when we've invested in them, even if that investment is just mental energy. The forbidden compliment also shifts the usual power dynamic. With typical compliments, the speaker holds the power. They're evaluating and approving. But with this approach, you position yourself as someone trying to understand her. This creates a more balanced interaction, where she's actively participating rather than just receiving validation. Standard compliments make her an object of observation. This forbidden compliment makes her a subject of interest and a participant in solving the mystery. When you tell someone they're beautiful, they simply accept or reject that statement. But when you tell them there's something intriguing about them that you can't quite define, they become partners in exploration. Think about the difference between watching someone else solve a puzzle versus solving it yourself. The active process creates stronger mental engagement than passive observation. This active engagement is what makes this compliment so powerful. It creates a mental hook that standard compliments don't have. Most men's compliments fail to create real attraction because they deliver closed statements that require no mental processing. Once the words are spoken, the mental transaction is complete. But with our forbidden compliment, the transaction is just beginning, creating cognitive threads that continue to pull her attention back to you. Of course, delivering this compliment effectively requires skill and proper timing. Let's examine exactly how to unwrap this mystery gift of words for maximum impact, because the way you present the puzzle determines how compelling it becomes. The delivery method. Let's look at two guys saying exactly the same words. There's something about you I can't quite figure out. The first guy blurts it out quickly with a nervous smile, then immediately starts explaining what he meant. The second guy delivers it thoughtfully, maintains eye contact, and lets the words hang in the air. Same words, completely different impact. This is where most men go wrong. They understand the concept but fail in the execution. The words themselves aren't magic. It's how you deliver them that creates the psychological impact. When you rush through this compliment or immediately try to explain yourself, you kill the mystery before it has a chance to work. Think about it like telling a joke. If you explain the punchline right after delivering it, you ruin the effect. The same principle applies here. The power of this compliment lies in the space you create for her imagination to fill in the blanks. I see 3 common mistakes men make when attempting this technique. Rushing the delivery. Speaking too quickly makes it sound rehearsed or insincere. Solution: slow down and deliver with genuine thoughtfulness. Backpedaling immediately. Saying things like, "I mean, you just seem different from other girl." Solution: let the statement stand on its own. Undermining their mystery. Oversharing or showing too much eagerness for her reaction. Solution: maintain composed confidence after delivering the line. The right delivery requires attention to several key elements. Timing. Deliver after establishing rapport but before conversation becomes too familiar. 10-15 minutes in. Tone. Thoughtful and genuine. Slightly lower voice. Slowed speech. Eye contact. Steady, focused attention showing you're present and observant. Body language. Slight head tilt, thoughtful expression, relaxed posture. Let me break this down, step by step. First, the timing. This compliment works best after you've had enough conversation to observe something genuine about her. If you say it too early, it seems like a line. If you wait too long, it loses impact. The sweet spot is usually 10-15 minutes into a good conversation, when you've moved past small talk, but haven't settled into complete comfort. Your tone should be contemplative, as if you're having this realization in real time. Lower your voice slightly and slow your speech. This subtle shift signals that you're sharing something meaningful, not just making casual conversation. It creates a moment of intimacy, even in a crowded room. Maintain steady eye contact as you deliver the compliment. Not intense staring, but the kind of focused attention that shows you're present and observant. This reinforces the idea that you're seeing something in her that others might miss. Perhaps the most important element is the pause after delivering the compliment. This pause is powerful, like the breath between musical notes that gives the composition its emotional resonance. It creates space for her to process what you've said and for the question to form in her mind. Most men rush to fill this silence, but that silence is where the magic happens. When she inevitably asks, "What do you mean?" and she will ask, maintain your composed confidence. Instead of fumbling with explanations, respond with something like, "I'm still trying to put my finger on it," accompanied by a subtle smile. This maintains the mystery while showing you're genuinely intrigued. The goal is to deflect her questions in a way that increases rather than decreases her curiosity. Small gestures like a slight shrug or a thoughtful expression can communicate that you're still processing your own observation. This keeps the psychological loop open in her mind. You might say something like, "There's just something about the way you express yourself," and then transition to another topic. This partial answer gives her a direction to consider without resolving the question completely. When you maintain this mystery properly, you create space for her imagination to work. This is where the compliment becomes truly powerful. When you don't define exactly what you find intriguing about her, she begins to fill in that blank space herself. Her mind starts working to complete the puzzle you've presented. This approach makes her feel simultaneously seen and intrigued. The feeling of being truly seen, of someone noticing something unique about you, is incredibly powerful. Adding intrigue to that recognition creates a compelling psychological combination. It's the difference between someone simply observing you versus someone being genuinely curious about you. Her internal struggle. After hearing "There's something about you I can't quite figure out," a woman's mind starts working in ways that a standard compliment could never achieve. Imagine her sitting at home later that evening, replaying your conversation in her head. Unlike the dozens of "you're beautiful" comments she's already forgotten, your words linger. For most women, compliments are nothing new. They've heard about their eyes, their smile, their outfit countless times. These surface-level observations become background noise, expected, but ultimately meaningless. When you only acknowledge what everyone else sees, you're not really seeing her at all. That's why your ambiguous compliment creates such a powerful internal reaction. Her thoughts explore possibilities. What did he notice about me? Was it something I said? The way I laughed at his joke? Perhaps how I described my job? Or that travel story? This internal dialogue continues as she tries to solve the puzzle you've presented. She takes mental inventory of her qualities. Her sense of humor? Her perspective on that topic? The way she expresses herself? Her values? She considers aspects of herself that she values but that often go unnoticed. This process differs fundamentally from how she processes typical compliments. "You have beautiful eyes" requires no analysis. The compliment is complete, but your undefined observation creates an open loop her mind wants to close. I once witnessed this with a friend who received this compliment at a gallery opening. Days later, she was still wondering what the man had picked up on. Her art knowledge, her analytical mind, or something else entirely. The mystery had her reflecting on qualities she valued in herself, but rarely showcased. Psychologically, she's reviewing herself through your eyes. She's trying to see what you might have seen. This self-reflection heightens awareness of her own uniqueness and depth. She's considering who she really is, not just how she appears. This internal exploration connects her with aspects of herself she values but might not showcase often. Her analytical mind, her empathy, her unique perspective on life. Your compliment suggests you might be seeing these deeper aspects of her character. Something interesting happens as this mental process unfolds. She starts wondering about your perception. What allowed you to notice something others miss? This curiosity creates another layer of engagement. What kind of person notices things others don't? Someone observant, thoughtful, interested in more than appearances. Here, a subtle shift in the dynamic occurs. With standard compliments, you're trying to impress her. Now she's mentally trying to figure out what impressed you. She wonders if she showed enough of that mysterious quality. She might even want to demonstrate more of whatever caught your attention. Without realizing it, she's selling herself to you internally. Rather than you chasing her, her mind engages with proving what you observed. This isn't manipulation, it's human psychology, when presented with an intriguing, unresolved observation about ourselves. This is the fourth psychological payoff. When someone believes you've noticed something special about them, they naturally want to confirm that perception. They want to show you that you were right. This creates a completely different dynamic than the typical man pursues woman pattern. This process connects to one of our deepest human desires, to be truly seen and understood beyond the surface. Women often receive superficial compliments, focused on physical appearance, which can leave them feeling objectified and unseen. These generic praises fail to acknowledge deeper aspects of their personality and character. Your compliments suggest you might see beyond the obvious, recognizing there's more to her than what everyone notices. This possibility addresses a fundamental need we all share, to be recognized for who we truly are. The internal questions continue. What does he see that others don't? Am I showing more of my true self with him? Is there something about him that made me open up differently? These thoughts keep bringing her mind back to your interaction. This approach works regardless of how conventionally attractive or confident a woman is. Beautiful women tire of being reduced to appearance. Women who don't fit conventional beauty standards often feel invisible. This compliment works for both because it suggests seeing something deeper than physical attributes. This emotional investment, determining what you noticed, reflecting on her uniqueness, wondering about your perception, makes your interaction more meaningful than dozens of forgettable compliments. The more she thinks about your interaction, the more significance it gains. This approach creates attraction that builds over time, rather than fading quickly. The mystery works in your absence, creating anticipation for your next meeting, where she might gather more clues about what you perceive in her. The self-image paradox. Here's something most people don't realize about human psychology. We're all walking contradictions. We simultaneously believe we're special while harboring deep insecurities about ourselves. This paradox exists in everyone, regardless of how confident they might appear on the outside. Think about yourself for a moment. There are probably qualities you possess that you feel others don't fully see or appreciate. Maybe it's your analytical thinking, your emotional depth, or your unique perspective on certain topics. We all have aspects of ourselves that we believe are undervalued by those around us. This feeling stems from the gap between our true self and our perceived self, like a hidden gem buried beneath the surface that rarely gets noticed. Your true self encompasses your authentic thoughts, values, and dreams, while your perceived self is the limited version others typically see. This creates a psychological vulnerability where we crave recognition for our deeper qualities. The research shows this is a fundamental human need, to be seen and understood beyond superficial traits. When someone only acknowledges your obvious qualities, like appearance or achievements, it feels hollow because it doesn't connect with your authentic self. Women experience this intensely. They're constantly evaluated on appearance, while their intelligence, humor, values, and unique qualities often go unacknowledged. Research confirms that women want to feel like they have something rare that sets them apart. They want recognition for what makes them different from everyone else. This is why our forbidden compliment is so psychologically powerful. When you say there's something about you I can't quite figure out, you're suggesting you've noticed something beyond the surface, something unique that others might miss. This addresses that gap between true self and perceived self directly. The ambiguity creates a perfect psychological setup. Since you haven't specified what you've noticed, her mind begins searching for what makes her special. What aspect of her true self might have leaked through? What unique quality has she revealed? This addresses a genuine human need. The research explains that acknowledging these less obvious aspects creates a sense of being truly known and appreciated. Your compliment suggests you might see the real her, not just the surface-level version everyone else sees. What makes this approach effective is that it places her in a position of positive uncertainty. She feels seen but not completely understood, as the research puts it. This creates a compelling psychological state where she feels recognized for being unique while having space to reveal more. Most compliments create a momentary positive feeling that quickly fades. This forbidden compliment creates something different, a state of curiosity about how you perceive her. Leading to genuine self-reflection, she examines her own qualities through your eyes, wondering which aspects captured your attention. This self-reflection process is emotionally engaging. She's actively participating in creating meaning from your words, filling in the blanks with her own self-image. This makes the compliment infinitely more personal than anything specific you could have said. The research validates this, explaining that women crave one thing: to be understood beyond the image she presents to the world. Your compliment suggests this possibility, which is why it resonates deeply. This approach subtly challenges her self-perception. By suggesting there's something unique about her that's difficult to define, you invite her to reconsider how she sees herself. This creates positive cognitive dissonance, a gap between her current self-image and the possibility that she might be even more interesting than she realizes. This challenge makes her want to prove you right. As the research states, she becomes invested in confirming your perception is accurate, motivating her to show you more of her authentic self rather than just the polished version she presents to everyone else. This connects to our fundamental desire to be special. When your compliment suggests you see something distinct in her, it satisfies this deep psychological need in a way generic praise never could. Standard compliments create a passive dynamic. You evaluate, she accepts or rejects. This forbidden compliment creates active engagement where both people participate in discovery. This mutual curiosity forms the foundation for genuine connection. This approach works regardless of conventional attractiveness and demonstrates that you value substance over appearance. Used with sincerity, it can open the door to meaningful interactions that go far beyond typical surface-level exchanges. Real-world application. Let's talk about when and how to use this forbidden compliment in real situations. Timing is everything. The most effective moment to say, "There's something about you I can't quite figure out," is after you've noticed a genuine moment of authenticity. This might be when she shares something personal, reveals a hidden side, or acts in a way that seems unfiltered. Picture this scenario. You're having coffee with someone at a busy cafe. The aroma of fresh coffee surrounds you. Casual conversation flowing. She's telling you about her work. Then suddenly, she shifts and passionately describes a side project she's been working on. Her eyes light up, her gestures become more animated, and you catch a glimpse of what truly excites her. This is your moment. Take a thoughtful pause. Let that authenticity register. Make eye contact that acknowledges this shift in energy. Then, with genuine curiosity in your voice, say, "You know, there's something about you I can't quite figure out." This works because you're responding to something real. You've witnessed a moment where she showed you a part of herself that isn't immediately obvious. Your compliment feels like a natural observation rather than a rehearsed line. Here's when to use this approach. After establishing basic rapport, never in the first few minutes, following a moment of genuine enthusiasm from her. 3. During a natural lull in conversation, when you've already exchanged some light flirtatious energy. Conversely, avoid using this compliment. There's no established connection. You're distracted or low energy. The conversation feels forced or superficial. The secret to delivering this effectively lies in your timing. The pause before delivering this compliment is crucial. It signals that you're genuinely considering her words or actions. This pause creates a moment of anticipation that makes your words land with more impact. Different personalities require different approaches. For a more reserved woman, deliver the compliment with a gentle, thoughtful tone. Make eye contact, but don't stare intensely. For someone more outgoing, add a touch more playful energy while still maintaining the element of mystery. Your tone matters tremendously. Speak slowly, with genuine intrigue in your voice. Make it sound like you're figuring something out as you speak. This approach ensures the compliment feels sincere, building trust and fostering deeper connection. After you deliver this compliment, she'll almost certainly ask what you mean. This is where most men make a critical mistake, by explaining too much. The right strategy is to maintain the mystery while still being authentic. Instead of giving a direct answer, you might say, "I'm not sure yet, but I'm enjoying finding out." This keeps her engaged and encourages her to reveal more of herself to you. The goal is to create space for further discovery. Another effective response is a thoughtful, "There's something in the way you express yourself," and then transition to another topic. This gives her something to think about without completely resolving the question. For example, one client used this technique during a first date with someone he'd been interested in for months. When she shared her unconventional career path, he noticed her genuine passion. After a thoughtful pause, he used the compliment. She immediately asked what he meant, and he simply smiled and said, "I'm still figuring it out." She later told him she couldn't stop thinking about that moment for days afterward. This technique transforms mental interest into emotional investment. When a woman starts wondering what you see in her, she's no longer passively receiving your attention. She's actively participating in the interaction. She becomes curious about you because you've shown curiosity about her. Creating mental investment leads to emotional investment. When she's thinking about your interaction even when you're not around, attraction deepens. Your compliment has created a question in her mind that she wants to resolve. This technique works because it creates real curiosity, not just flattery. Anyone can say you're beautiful, but few people make others feel both seen and intrigued simultaneously. The power lies in making her feel recognized for having depth while maintaining an element of mystery about what exactly you perceive. The most effective communication happens when we understand how the human mind processes information and creates meaning. This compliment works because it aligns with Kenneth's psychological principles, our desire to be seen, our curiosity about unresolved questions, and our tendency to value what we invest in mentally. We've seen how "there's something about you I can't quite figure out" creates a psychological puzzle that keeps someone thinking about you long after your conversation ends. By leaving that space for her imagination to fill in the blanks, you create mental engagement that generic compliments simply can't achieve. Real attraction forms when someone feels both seen and curious. Noticing something deeper shows you're paying attention on a level most people miss. Use this approach thoughtfully to create genuine connection through psychological understanding. Like a key unlocking a hidden door, this technique transforms surface conversations into meaningful connections. Try it today. You might be surprised by the authentic connections that follow.